Hello, everyone. We would like to welcome Brady White, a top quarterback prospect currently attending the University of Memphis. Welcome, Brady.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. I just want to jump right into the questions. So, what went into your decision to transfer to Memphis, and what do you think's been the biggest difference between Memphis and ASU?
When I was making my decision to transfer, I was coming off of an injury, and I was very confident that I'd be, better than I ever was and recover fully. And I knew going into that upcoming season, he's one of my best friends today, but he was our quarterback at the time and had already played 2 seasons, so I knew he was going to be finishing out his senior year as the starter. And I just kind of wanted to see if there was an opportunity to get on the field immediately. And the rules have changed, since then, but at the time you couldn't contact or get in communication with any coaches or anything like that unless you got your release from the school. Mm-hmm. So I had to go through that whole process just to explore the options. When I was going through it, I didn't necessarily know that I was going to leave. It was just having the ability to do that. And ultimately, obviously, I ended up, finding my new home and going to Memphis. And I've, it's obviously worked out really well. And I've loved Memphis for the school, the city, and the program and everything it's been to me. And wouldn't make any, changes if I could go back. I would say the biggest difference, other than the obvious, is, just a little different style of living, a little different change of scenery. Tempe is a little more, dry, obviously with the desert of Arizona, but it's still got a city feel and very kind of modern looking area. Whereas Memphis is a little more cultural and there's more greenery, a lot more trees. It's more of the South. So it's been a really good change of scenery for me, especially growing up on the West Coast. And I love everything that Memphis has to offer.
Yeah, that's cool. It's good that it's been a good transition.
Yeah. So you transferred colleges and all that. What are like some of the main differences from a regular college normal student and like a college athlete?
That's there's a lot. Obviously, as a regular student, you're just you're taking care of your classwork, and there's plenty of students that work jobs in whatever those are, and financerships. But being a student athlete is a full-time job, in my opinion, in my perspective. It really consumes, not all of your time, but a lot of your time year round. You have to make sure you're taking care of business in the classroom in order to stay eligible and in order to actually play. And also you have certain standards set by your program or your coaches that if you don't meet them, you could jeopardize your spot on the team. And then as far as the student athlete aspect, that's an extremely difficult task in itself, just because you got to physically stay in shape and stay on top of all of those things in order to put yourself in the best position to play. You got to prepare, off the field mentally with the playbook and all that. And then you got to go get the job done. And if you're not going to get the job done, you're not going to be on the field. So there's just a lot of things that you have to always relentlessly work towards and work to be better at. And everything affects itself. If you're not handling, your schoolwork the right way, it's going to affect your play time, and it's going to affect your athletic career.
Right.
And then if you're not taking care of business athletically, it's, that just cuts to the chase. But then, you're not having a fun time, you're not enjoying yourself, and it could leak over into your academics. So it's just, it's a whirlwind. There's a lot that goes on. And I know regular students have a lot going on too, but being a student athlete is a completely different dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because it's like all the free time that you might otherwise have, it's like so much is taken up by practices and games and workouts.
And then in your free time, when you do have it, you have to be productive with it. You have to be getting better. So, in the fall semester, there is no free time, because all your free time you're watching film or, breaking down a game plan or you're catching up on schoolwork, because I know in the fall, my hours, if you were going to make it like an hourly thing, you're getting up at like 6, or you're starting your day at 6. So you might get up even earlier. And then I'm not getting home till about 9.
Yeah, so that's
and all throughout that day, obviously you have little lunch breaks, and you're not just working the whole time, but all you're doing is schoolwork and watching film and practicing and watching practice, breaking down more film. You're just studying your butt off and working towards game day. And then game day comes, and it's obviously all fun and stuff, but even afterwards you're recovering and you're trying to get ready for the next week. And so it's a lot, but it's a lot of fun, and I love every second of it.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot, but
So you have so many responsibilities. So what were like the differences in responsibilities from Memphis and Arizona? Was there a huge difference for you, or is it basically?
Sorry, say that again. You kind of cut it out a little bit.
So when you were transferred, was there like a huge difference in responsibilities, like what you had to do, or is it being the same between colleges?
As far as playing the position, or just in general?
No, just like outside responsibilities, like managing your athletics and schoolwork. Is it basically the same?
No. I mean, if you want to be great, I mean, I want to be the best, quarterback I possibly can be, and compete and play at the next level. And if you have that outlook, which most guys do, that are standout college football players and have a good head on their shoulders. But if you're going to do that, no, the load and the responsibilities are pretty similar, just because the only difference comes in like playbooks or what, expectations or standards from programs or coaches. But the way you're wired and the way you go about your business, it's all pretty similar. Guys may have little different routines or have little things that they do kind of special to them here and there. But as a kind of broad body of work and a broad outlook, everyone's kind of got the same kind of outlook and mentality, I should say.
So I know that you're saying you're pretty busy with football, you're pretty busy with schoolwork, but what's some stuff that you like to do outside of all of that when you get a chance to
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's extremely healthy to make sure you do get like away from it a little bit. And when I do that, I'm hanging out with family and friends, and hanging out could just be chilling on the couch watching TV, going to movies, typical, human being kind of lifestyle stuff. And then other than that, I really enjoy kind of just playing video games, hanging out with my girlfriend, and playing some golf.
Yeah.
And I like staying active, so I love competing. So if there's any, like, if you're playing basketball in the backyard, or playing a board game or card games, like I love just competing with other people, playing games, and then also staying active. So getting outside and moving around.
Yeah. Kind of talking about moving around, what does your like general exercise regimen look like?
Sorry, my general what?
Your exercise regimen.
You're pretty much doing stuff every day. So working out every day, and you split, you break up your workouts, you communicate with your strength coaches, and you figure out a plan. But you're working out for hour to 2 hours every day, getting some running in or some movement in. Some days are heavier on the conditioning, and other days are more heavier on the lifting. And then any kind of like off days or weekends, you do need to rest and recover and take care of your body, but it's also important to like stay moving. So go out and get a walk in or jog, or do some yoga or whatnot. Just keep the body moving, keep it limber, and it benefits a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do you stay really busy during quarantine? Are you just doing like as you're playing golf and all that stuff like that, or are you just hanging out with friends? And how do you keep in contact with all your teammates on your team?
Well, keeping in contact with teammates is easy, just because you got social media and you got your phones and all that, so that's really easy. And then the quarantine honestly hasn't changed my routine a lot. It made a change because we're not, you're not in spring practice, and you're not around your teammates and coaches all the time. But I'm still working out every day. I'm still able to get out and throw with guys that are local or that are near me. And so I just continue to do that. And then if I ever have like off time or guys aren't there, I'll still just make sure I get my work in, or go get some of my quarterback drills in. And that's pretty much it.
So like, what organized stuff have you guys done as a team during quarantine? Nothing yet.
Yeah, no, it's no one's been able to. It's all individual work. So me being a quarterback, I think I've done a good job at the guys that are in Memphis or that are near me. I will rally the troops and we'll go get some group work in. So throwing or making sure we're just working on little things together. It's good to kind of have everyone, as many people there, and because if it was normal, everyone would be in spring ball and getting tons of reps and competing in full pads. So just making sure we're pushing ourselves and trying to get as much as we possibly can in during this time, so that when it does return to normal, it's not like a big drop off or like we weren't ready for it. So, but yeah, no organized activity because that's illegal, I think. I don't know if it's like a law or anything, but our nation's not able to, and I know we're returning soon, which is exciting.
Yeah, that should be nice. But what do you think? Obviously, you haven't been able to do as much football stuff during quarantine, but what's been the best part about quarantine for you?
Okay, I think the positives through all this is, one, as a nation, and also just in everyone's kind of communities and teams, it's caused a lot of people to come together. It's easy in our world to get caught up in like competing, and everyone's kind of going against each other or pointing out the negatives, and how it is like with media and stuff. I think it's caused everyone to kind of have a different perspective in this time and come together and kind of be on the same team, which is really a good thing to see. And then for me personally, I think it's also, and I'm sure a lot of guys, I think anyone that's kind of heavily involved or invested into college sports, that have kind of gone through a lot of seasons and a lot of lifting, and their bodies kind of been through the ringer, I think it also has provided a decent amount of rest. Now, it's not like we're just off, not doing anything. Like I said, every day you're doing something, but it's not the same demands as a spring ball where you're hitting every day, and you're working out at an intense level. So it kind of gives that body a little bit of a recovery period while you're still pushing yourself and working out. But at the same time, like I kind of mentioned earlier, I think it's important for myself and others to, while it is a little bit of a recovery period, you are getting that stuff done. Because like I said, like this season's we're gonna play the season out. I'm pretty confident in saying that. And people that have not been doing anything, I think it's gonna be pretty easy to see who's not been taking care of business or not been trying to get better versus those that have been. So it's a fine balance, but those are some positives that I think this quarantine has brought.
Yeah. Yeah, so you obviously have to stay fit and all that. So what does your diet really look like during quarantine? Have you changed your diet from the...
No, I haven't changed it at all during quarantine. But diet is a big part of, I think, just anyone's life. I think it just helps the body feel better. It helps it recover, whether you're an athlete or not. And so like nutrition and sleep are big things. And then you pair those up with, working out and activity. I think you get a lot of positives from your body. And so for those, for the diet specifically, it's not eating salads all day and just greens and not eating junk, but it's just being smart. Like if I want to have ice cream at the end of the night, I'll eat ice cream. Like I'm gonna limit myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that every day. So I'm just gonna make sure I'm getting the good nutrients I need with the proteins, carbs, fats. Like people stay away from carbs and fats, but as long as you're getting the necessary amount, like some people can eat more than others, and you're getting good sources from it. Like obviously if you're eating donuts, that's probably not the best source of those things, but if you're eating like nuts and other things like that, those give you good fats or good carbs, and that helps fuel your body. And those little, so you have like macro and micronutrients, and I have a big focus on like the macronutrients for my diet right now, but the micronutrients help a lot as well. So there's, you've probably heard it, and a lot of athletes will talk about it, and it's very complex, but at the end of the day, everyone's got a different plan, and it's being smart and understanding your body and what you can eat, but it's not you're not like, you have discipline, but at the same time, like if I want to go eat a burger, I'm going to eat a burger, and I'm just going to account for that day.
Yeah, it's like kind of controlling your portions and make sure it's
absolutely.
Right. Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, you seem pretty knowledgeable about the stuff you're eating, but is that something that's been the case for like a long time, or is there a certain point in time where you think you got more invested in your diet and exercise?
Well, exercise has always been important. I think I've always just been a physically active person with sports, and then being a college athlete, you get plenty of activity and exercise. The diet and like nutrition stuff, you always kind of hear about it and you know about it, but it's tough as a student athlete or a college student athlete, with just like because it's not cheap, right? I mean, it's not like it's super expensive, but it's an investment, and it can be tough for collegiate student athletes to fully attack that area of nutrition. But I would say kind of at the end of last year, and then obviously this year and to present day, I've really had a big focus on that portion of kind of my game and my life, and I've seen a lot of positive change and a lot of growth in me, which is really encouraging.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think we have one last question for you.
Okay.
So what's been your motivation for playing football throughout your career? Has there been like a figure that you've been inspired to play like?
Or has it been like family members or?
No, I've always just ever since a young age, I was drawn to this game of football. I mean, I played a lot of sports growing up, but this was always the one that I loved the most and was passionate about. And I think football is a great game, and it's the sport that teaches you most about life, and you learn that as you obviously get older and have all these coaches pour into you and teach you lessons. But I just love it for everything that it brings, the physical aspect of it, the mental aspect of it, and all the other things that the public doesn't really see, all the behind the scenes stuff that is required in order to be great and to be a winner and a champion. So I've always loved this game. I mean, I have players that I've always looked up to, but I've never had like a family member or a specific player that kind of drove me to football. I was always, just at a young age, I gravitated towards it and always picked it up and loved it, and has stuck with it since I think like I was 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's awesome. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us so much, Brady, and we wish you good luck this upcoming season.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good one.